This video will highlight the key information to look out for when reading through a website's privacy policy. Specifically, we will walk through the Twitter privacy policy to help you understand what to look out for to protect your and your students' data online. Section 1.1, Identify basic info collected. This would be the display name, the username, your email or phone number. You can either decide to agree to receive text messages. If you decide to give them their email, they keep the context, the address, the contact info to respond to. This section highlights key information such as what the user allows their name to be displayed as well as the information given to Twitter. It is important to note that providing your phone number and email address to Twitter allows them to store the information in a database and use it to contact you at a later date. Section 1.2, Public Activity. This is the profile information, the time zone and language, and whether you may choose to show the tweet location. Section 1.2 highlights information that is shared publicly on your Twitter account. Keep in mind that information such as time zone and tweet location can be publicly shared, which could potentially lead to an invasion of privacy. Section 1.4, Private messages are stored. Private messages sent and received on Twitter are stored in a database, so keep in mind that private messages are not truly private. Section 1.6, Options for what you share with Twitter. This section summarizes the options users have for interactions on Twitter. Keep in mind that as a Twitter user, you have the right to limit who you can interact with on Twitter. Section 2.1, Based on your settings, Twitter may collect and store information. Knowing the kind of location data shared is essential to you and your students. Sharing location data can publicly broadcast to the world the location of you and your students, potentially jeopardizing their safety. Section 2.3, Cookies are collected. Cookies are collected by websites to help share user information in order to improve the user's experience on the site by generating targeted content and ads. Take note of this section to better understand how a website tracks your usage in order to provide you with more content. Section 2.4, Log data. This is data received such as your IP address, browser type, operating system, location, pages visited, your mobile carrier, and your device. Log data refers to the information collected and stored on a user over time. This data can create a user profile by compiling data such as the type of computer an individual uses, where in the world they are accessing a website from, and even the frequency a user visits a page and the amount of time they spend on that page. This data is often coupled with data collected from third-party companies to build profiles on users who engage with a website. Section 2.6, Advertising. Often, websites use advertising to generate revenue, so it is important to understand the information that is collected by a website and shared with third-party companies. If you've noticed ads coming up on a website for an item you were just viewing on Google, you can thank third-party advertising companies for collecting targeted advertising data on you. Section 3.1, Sharing your control. Although there is a lot of data collected on you as a user, many websites allow you to control the type of data collected and shared with other websites. When reviewing privacy policies, look for a section such as this one to help you understand your rights as a user. Section 3.3, Law, Harm, and Public Interest. This section notes that the website is legally allowed to release information on your usage if they feel it is in the best interest of the public. While this may only be used in dire circumstances, it is still important to be aware that they do have the right to release your information. Changes to policy. You agree to the change in policy if you keep using the service after it has been changed. It is important to note that many websites update their privacy policies frequently. Although websites are required to let you know when they update their policy, simply continuing to use the website after their policy is changed is often enough for the company to say that the user opted in to the new changes in their policy.